Pennsylvania Municipality, Mafia, implementation of codes to coercively take your property and bulldoze it for city use. The story continues. Clarifying condemnation, habitability, IBC standards, boarding house, and B&B rules. When the city condemns your property for cosmetic issues, never properly notifies you of the issues, so you can legally have your 15 days to address the issues before condemnation is placed, then plays games to never resolve the condemnation. You know you are in for a fun time. Most recently, I may or may not have told code repeatedly they need to get training on how to perform their duties as they are not completing inspections, condemnations, habitability procedures, etc. properly. My comments all started when the inspector deemed a pipe by the public right-of-way as being impacted by erosion, when that was not environmentally or logistically accurate. Inspector has no clue what erosion is, for that was moved around played with dirt, because the dirt around the pipe was recently disturbed by humans, not water, and not at the output with no capacity to erode. Inspector's findings. Where rain gutter pipe terminates is leading to the erosion of soil and causing the retaining wall to be pushing out into the roadway. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. My findings. No. Erosion occurs at exit output of pipe. This is simply pushed around dirt. They ask us to play with dirt to gain habitability of building. They deem this dirt a structural or safety concern. They may all need to go back to high school and get training. It is difficult to read such uneducated shenanigans which solely abusively delays justice. International Building Code, IBC, does not address 1 foot by 1 foot area of eroded dirt by a gutter drain output as a reason to designate a property as uninhabitable or as a justifiable reason for condemning a property. The IBC primarily focuses on safety and structural integrity of buildings for occupancy. This output has no effect on the foundation instability or water infiltration into the building because it is along the public right-of-way and not outputting near the home. Be sure to slow the video speed settings if you want to watch the video in a slower pace. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. In accordance with IBC codes and standards, condemnation of a property typically occurs due to severe structural deficiencies, safety hazards, or violations of building codes and ordinances that present significant risks. City actions to maintain property as not habitable or condemned is abusive, harassment, discriminatory, retaliatory, and in breach of IBC codes and standards as well as in breach of code of ethics. Your credential licenses require as a code enforcement official and or inspector, which means your licenses should rightfully be terminated and each official fined for their abusive actions. Habitability and condemnation of a property usually occurs due to severe issues such as extensive structural damage, fire damage, presence of hazardous materials, or violations of zoning regulations, which pose significant risks to occupants or the public. Nothing within this inspection report sufficiently justifies a habitability or condemnable issue for this property. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I requested city officials and inspectors obtain training on IBC codes and standards. Harassment, discrimination, and retaliation disallowed by statutes and their own license code of ethics. How to perform inspections pertaining to habitability and or condemnation of properties. This is because inspectors required we paint exterior windowsills, scrub dirt from exterior siding, relocate decorative stones in front yard, remove fire pit from property although firefighters deem it allowed for our municipality, removal of gas stove that functions safely and manually lit, install one doorknob on one closet door that exists lockable for no use, paint outside corner of closet upper right side front when entire home and all closets were professionally painted weeks before inspections. All of this was to occur in freezing winter temperatures with extreme wind chill. Yes, insanity at its best. All unreasonable, unjustifiable, and abusive to my health and safety as I personally froze as I painted trim in freezing temperatures with insane wind chill that caused pain to fingers in just 10 minutes. Yes, painting is not feasible in freezing temperatures if you read the can of paint. All this took many hours of pain and suffering. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Fast forward to now. The property exterior was painted last Thursday, although cosmetic, non-safety, and non-structural. The municipality is giving citations for alleged B&B and boarding house violations that do not exist. The property has never been a B&B or boarding house, and never will they be utilized for this use. Instead, uses single-family dwelling allowable by our zoning designation. Here are some interesting findings. Airbnb website is a platform utilized to rent property to guests and can be utilized to market property, gauge market data, or find long-term tenants. In our municipality, Airbnb is a website platform that others in locality utilize for finding renters. It may be unlawful Airbnb website to be disallowed to some residents, but allowed to others. Based on my findings analyzing our municipality's codes and standards, the city does not specifically prohibit Airbnb or Air Bed and Breakfast platform from being utilized to find tenants. Research evidence Airbnb website use is not actually prohibited in any way. I specifically utilized Airbnb website to gauge market data, but don't book via Airbnb unless the specific stay is in accordance with city codes of my city. Data and free marketing help me find better tenants and set best prices for monthly stays. I found at minimum 3 Airbnbs listed on Airbnb in this municipality. Importantly, this property has never been and will never be a bed and breakfast or boarding house. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Bed and breakfast, B&B. Defined. A bed and breakfast, B&B, is a small lodging establishment that typically offers overnight accommodations and a morning meal, with limited or no additional meals provided. B&Bs are often privately owned homes or small inns, and they generally feature a more personalized and intimate experience. A bed and breakfast, B&B, is a type of accommodation that offers overnight accommodations and breakfast, often in a more intimate and personalized setting. The property of concern is not a B&B and does not offer a meal at any time, will never provide meal services, and will never be a bed and breakfast. Never will property have the capacity to offer breakfast services. For our codes and standards, in accordance with 480.42 Use Regulation Section A, the property may be utilized for permitted uses of single-family dwelling. Once approved occupancy, the property will be of single-family dwelling/rental use like other rentals within our zone in our municipality. This 2-unit property has 2 single-family dwellings where both sides have always been rentals since property was purchased in 2021. Never did municipality have an issue with it previously. The property was and will always be utilized for single-family dwelling use since 2021 purchase of property. As clarified by our code officer's emailed documentation, single-family dwelling is a permit approvable use within this property's zone designation. As clarified, codes and standards do not prohibit the use of Airbnb website platform to find single-family dwelling rental tenants, and property always was a rental in past with never any issues, so there should be no issue for property to continue renting these 2 units as a single-family dwelling as they always did in the past with no issues. As clarified, others in this zone utilize Airbnb website. Airbnb does not specifically solitarily provide bed and breakfasts. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. See by definition. Airbnb defined. Airbnb is not the same as a bed and breakfast, B&B, although there can be overlap. Here's how they differ. Airbnb is a platform and online marketplace that allows people to list, discover, and book accommodations around the world. The platform offers a wide range of lodging options. Listings can include everything from single-family dwellings of short-term and long-term stays where landlord rents out their property. An Airbnb property does not have to provide meals, instead most do not offer the service. It is not a standard feature of Airbnb rentals to offer of breakfast or other meals. The focus is more on providing a place to stay rather than offering a full hospitality experience. Airbnb presently disallows experiences on their website for landlords. Airbnb acts as an intermediary, connecting hosts with guests and taking a commission on rental bookings. Level up your life. Follow us on Medium to unlock our secrets. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Boarding house defined. A boarding house is a type of residential accommodation where individuals rent a room within a larger house or building, typically with shared common areas like bathrooms, kitchens, and living spaces. Boarding houses provide long-term or semi-permanent housing, and unlike typical rental apartments, they often include some basic services, such as meals or housekeeping, as part of the rent. Key characteristics of a boarding house include private rooms. Residents have their own private room, which may be furnished or unfurnished, depending on the establishment. Shared facilities. Common areas like bathrooms, kitchens, and living rooms are shared among the residents. Meals. Boarding houses offer meals, often breakfast and dinner, as part of the rent. These meals are usually served in a communal dining area. Services. Additional services, such as laundry, might be provided, depending on the boarding house. Community atmosphere. Residents often interact more closely with one another than they would in a typical apartment setting, creating a community-like environment. Examples of boarding houses include a traditional boarding house may be a large home converted into a boarding house where tenants rent individual rooms and meals are served in a shared dining room. A modern boarding house may resemble small apartment buildings with furnished rooms, shared kitchens, and communal living spaces, catering to students or young professionals. As clarified in emails, both units use was and will always be single-family dwelling for both units, where a single family will have the entire place to themselves and no meal will be provided to the tenant. Never is a boarding house applicable to either apartment unit. No codes and standard sections prohibit boarding properties. Instead, one must obtain conditional approval by the municipality to run boarding houses within our specific zone within the municipality. This property was never, nor will it ever be a boarding house, so there is no need to apply for conditional approval for this use. Never was and never will the following be applicable. Never was or will a meal be provided. Never was or will anything shared. Instead, all tenants will have the entire place to themselves as a private rental single family to dwell and live. Never was or will a laundry services be provided, because the rental itself has private laundry within the unit like a normal rental, and single family have property normally have inside normal homes for private personal use. Never was or will individual rooms be rented. Never was or will more than one family or group be residing within a unit. Instead, use is for single family to dwell within one unit to have entire place privately to themselves. Never was or will a meal be provided or shared. Never was or will an indoor dining areas be shared. Never was or will a kitchen be shared. Never was or will a living room be shared. Never was or will a bathroom be shared. Never was or will anything be communal. Rental property never was or never will cater to students. Instead, property management specifically prohibits tenants under age 23 as approvable candidates to rent property. Never was or will property be leased to more than one tenant applicant at a time. Residents will have entire unit to themselves and not interact in a community situation. Never was or will laundry or meals be charged to tenants. Tenants provide themselves these services as normal single family do. They will feed themselves and clean their own clothes using their private laundry. Never are these services provided or charged to a tenant. Comment level up to show you are ready to level up and read this article to the end. In summary, the property would be a single family dwelling use for both units, which is approvable within property occupancy zone, and never will a bed and breakfast or boarding house be applicable to the property use. Airbnb website platform use is not specifically prohibited by codes and standards. Property based on all the above findings never was in violation, as it was never a boarding house or B&B. Not sure how this will all play out. Let's see if Mafia rules apply or see if timely just outcomes will be received here. Wish us luck. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm to supercharge the YouTube algorithm and support me making more content for you. Comment below. Do you agree with my findings about habitability and condemnations being safety or structural issues, significant issues, or not cosmetic? Do you think a single-family dwelling can be deemed a boarding house or bed and breakfast if we never offer meals or have any interior shared spaces? What do you think about this all? Does the property look condemnable to you? Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment below to help support and help me succeed so I can post more for you. Thank you all for joining me. Talk to you soon on the next one.
Got a switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients, believe me. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go.